FM.
Well, hello there, good evening and welcome. This is Strong and Sassy here on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Animwaa Anim-Addo. A very big thank you to you for choosing us. I know you could be anywhere this beautiful Wednesday evening, but you're here with us and we really appreciate that. If you'd like to see our faces, our really, really nice faces, you can go on Facebook. We're live on Facebook and we would love to be interactive with you, so you can send your messages and ask your questions and all of that. But this month, we're celebrating two things. So we're celebrating Ghana Month. It's also International Women's Day. So it's kind of like Women's Month. But you know, like every month is Women's Month anyway, because that's just how it is. But anyways, because of those two things put together, tonight we decided to have a conversation on resilient Ghanaian women. I think that's one thing that Ghanaian women are known for their tenacity, their resilience, their being very innovative and just forging through situations and things that happen to us. It's definitely a trademark of the Ghanaian woman. And tonight, we'd like to use the show to have a conversation with a woman who is definitely resilient, definitely Ghanaian, and has a very, very interesting story to share, which we hope that at the end of, you will be inspired to keep pressing, keep moving, and keep pushing. Once again, you're welcome. This is Strong and Sassy, and this is Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Animwaa, and we'll be here until 8 o'clock. So I'd like to say hello to my guest. She's never been on Strong and Sassy. It's a first. But thank you so much for being here. Her name is Euphemia Ann-Marie Amoateng. She's a public servant and CEO of Styles and Smiles Kids Salon. Good evening, and thank you for being here again.
Good evening, anyone. Thanks for having me.
I love your glasses.
Thank you.
They're very, very beautiful. You see why I said you should go on Facebook? Because it only works when you can see the visuals. So if you're not driving, then definitely, switch over to Facebook and watch us live. So how are you? How have you been?
I've been superb in the last few days.
Okay.
Because I spent close to 2 years of my working life in Cape Coast.
Yeah.
Yes, it comes along with my job. But then, God being so good, I was transferred back to Accra.
Yay! Just a week ago.
Just a week ago.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your job and how it came to the point where you were transferred. Because obviously you started off in Accra.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your job and how that happened.
Okay, because of security reasons, I cannot state where
the
I
specific,
work.
Yeah.
But you see, there are certain kind of jobs that comes with certain conditions before you decide to join or to be recruited. And as part of that, you need to agree to some clauses. To decide that wherever they take you, you would have to go. I actually spent about 30 minutes on that part of the clause whilst filling the form, just to be sure if I really wanted to do this. But then I needed a job.
Okay.
So I had to take yes.
And you were hopeful that you will never be transferred?
Yes, everybody hopes. Every employee of that institution hopes that even if you're transferred, it will be within Accra or where your family resides. So fortunately, my first posting was in Accra.
Okay.
My second posting was in Accra.
Okay. You're posted every year?
It should be about 5 and 7 years. You should be posted out of where you're currently stationed.
Okay, so you can be in a place for 5 to 7 years.
Yes.
And then you have to move.
Yes.
Okay.
So fortunately, when I was moved the second time, still within Accra, there was a job vacancy within the institution. So I applied for it. And when I was moved, just within 6 months, I was called for an interview. And fortunately, I was called for the role.
Okay.
And usually promotions also come with transfers.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been praying for that because I was above 7 years in the institution. So one time when I opened my email, there it was, I've been promoted, but to Cape Coast. I couldn't jubilate till today.
Yeah.
Because I was happy about the promotion, but the location. So I was like, oh God, I was praying for a promotion. Is it because I didn't add a location, so you just thrown me somewhere? So it was quite difficult, very, very difficult. It nearly, put my marriage on the rocks because it wasn't easy.
Okay, let's take it a step at a time.
Okay.
So you get the email, you've been promoted, which is exciting. You have to move to Cape Coast. You have your initial feelings. Actually, what were your initial feelings?
I can't describe. I was mixed feelings. Okay. I didn't know whether I was happy, whether I was sad. It was like both feelings at the same time.
Okay.
And I didn't even know who to break the news to because I wasn't too happy about it. But then I had to let my husband know. So he was the first person I sent the letter to. And the first thing he said was, wow. And he was asking me to decline it.
Wow.
Yes, and that's when we started having bits and pieces of arguments and misunderstandings because he was like, I have to decline it because I have to stay home because of the children.
So, when you were getting married, or when the few years that you had been married, had you had this conversation about, this is my job, there's always a possibility that I might be asked to? Was it a conversation that had come up?
Okay, the thing was, I got this job after marriage, after my first child.
Okay.
Yes. So we really didn't have a conversation about it because Charlie me pay Juma.
So at that point
it wasn't,
but you had mentioned, or you hadn't mentioned?
I had mentioned, he was aware.
But it wasn't...
We're all hoping it wasn't going to be outside Accra because my first posting was still within Accra. So we're just hopeful that even with the promotion, it will still be within Accra.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it wasn't.
So you have the conversation with him. He assumes automatically that you're going to decline.
He didn't assume. He was asking me to decline.
Okay.
And I said no. I wanted to at some point, but who doesn't want to climb up the ladder at some point in your career?
So that's why you said no?
Yes.
Was it a tough decision to make?
It was, because my kids are very young and I didn't know whether I was making the right decisions. Then I was seeing myself in my mother's shoes so many years ago, because my mother too moved around because of the kind of job she found herself. She was in the military. So she was, posted to Takoradi, went to Lebanon, went to Cote d'Ivoire. She was all over the place. So I was like, wow, maybe this is an opportunity for me to also see what is out there, because I've lived literally all my life in Accra.
Okay.
And, setting promotions also come with experience.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you're listening to some of your managers, I've been to Edum, Kumasi, I've been to Santase, I went to, in Koko, and, they are fascinating stories. So I wanted to also, kind of walk a mile in the shoes and see what it is like out there.
Okay.
Yes. So that at least when I'm being asked certain things, I'll be able to also share. Exactly.
Was there an option to take your kids, or from the get-go you were not going to be able to take them?
I was able to take them. I mean, I would have been able to take them, but I didn't want to take them because they were already established at where they were schooling. I didn't want to move them because I know what movement with my mother back then was like, losing friendships, starting all over in new schools and all of that. I didn't want my children to go through that. And then a very good school. So in as much as there are equally good schools in Cape Coast, I just didn't want the movement because I felt it would drain me more. Because at this time around, it would be just me, them, and a nanny. Yes. And I felt also that it would be costly living outside, because in Accra, we live in our own home. But being out there, you would have to rent a bigger apartment to contain the children and all. If it's just me, a one-bedroom apartment is just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you made the decision. Your husband asks you, don't go. Did it become an argument?
It did.
What was that argument like?
All of a sudden, there was this coldness between us because already we were not all that cool. Then this comes up. Then I'm being asked to decline because of the children. And it was like a guilt trip for me. And I'm like, I want to climb up the ladder. I want to grow where I find myself. What if one day I also equally want to become a manager? I need to have certain experiences to be able to manage a branch or so given me. So it didn't deter me. Whether we're having, cold conversations or whatever, it just didn't deter me. I really wanted to go.
Was he going to have support if you were leaving the kids with him?
Yeah, we do have support. We have a nanny.
Okay, so in a way, the environment was going to be pretty much the same. If you took them, it would be you, the kids, and the nanny.
Yes.
If he took them, it would be him, the kids, and a nanny.
Exactly.
But you still chose that, I want to go, so
yes.
you bear the responsibility.
Yes, because I decided to come home every weekend.
Okay.
And I was coming home every weekend.
Every weekend. I mean, I can imagine that it was a tough decision to make, not even just personally, but also societally.
Yeah.
Because to a certain extent, people will point fingers at you and say you've abandoned
your family.
Yeah. Did you have that?
Yes. One time there was a topic like that at church about, prioritizing your family, your children, and making certain sacrifices. And I was like, God, this pastor is talking to me. And I felt so bad. And I literally wanted to ask him whether I made the right decision or the wrong one, because I'm
the
like...
pastor or God?
The pastor.
Okay.
Because I was like, I got confused. There are times when I come home, I literally have just 24 hours. I come home after work. I get home like 10 p.m. Fridays. I have just Saturday for myself and the kids. I leave Sunday latest 11 a.m. I'm off. So there are times where I get back to Cape Coast, I call them on video call, want to talk to them. My first girl, she's okay, but the boy wouldn't want to talk to mommy.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I constantly felt drained. Even before that, I was battling with depression, anxiety, and it got worse because this time around, I'm alone. I was so alone, it wasn't funny. And even at work, I had colleagues, I didn't have friends.
Right.
Nobody knew where I lived. So there are times I ask myself, what if something happens to me? Because I'm asthmatic. What if something happens? Who do I call? Even if I do have someone to call, who knows my apartment to even come and take me to the hospital? So all of that, it was crazy. There are times I just break down for no reason. I'll just cry. I don't pick phone calls. I don't respond to messages until the next morning. It was crazy.
But it was also your decision.
Yes, it was, because even around that time I was writing my final exams in my master's. Yes, and it was crazy. I was, joining online classes. Sometimes I have to come to Accra for lectures, having group studies online. It was crazy.
But you stuck.
Yes, I did.
So what was the thing that made you stick with it?
I needed the experience.
Okay.
Yes.
So the experience for work, experience for life, the experience of being on your own, the experience.
Okay. Aside that, this is exclusive. Aside that, I felt my husband and I needed some space.
Okay.
Yes, and I feel I needed it for myself.
For yourself.
Yes, because I'd had it up to here, and I'm like, no, I think I need it for myself, for him. Not for the kids. I mean, I made it a point to see them every weekend, but I felt I needed that space. Yes, to make certain decisions and make sure that I was making the right ones.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, the reason I'm pushing in that direction is that I have kids. I have 2 kids too. And I know that if I was to make a decision like this, at the forefront of it would not necessarily be just the work and the marriage and all of that, but also the realization that I need some time, maybe to even rediscover myself. Do you feel like you needed a period of rediscovery? Because the thing that maybe society doesn't appreciate is how much a woman changes after she has children. You almost forget who you are as a person. So do you feel like you needed that as well?
I needed, and it helped me.
It did.
Yes. Because there are times I get home, it's not as if I'm even watching TV or even on my phone. I'll just sit on the bed, not doing anything, just breathe. There are times I get to work, out of nowhere, I'm breaking down, I'm screaming on top of my lungs.
Oh, wow.
I have this, it got that bad for me. I don't even know how I have pulled through all these years. I have this friend in the US, Senna. I'll call her, and as soon as she hears my voice, she knows I'm not okay. She'll just stay on the phone with me and keep asking me to, if you breathe. I will scream and cry anymore. It's not even funny.
Wow.
I will cry my eyes out. And after that, I'll go wash my face in the washroom and I go sit behind my desk as if nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know. I mean, and you're allowed to. You should only say what you feel comfortable saying. I'm curious to know, what are the things, if you don't mind sharing with us, what are some of the things that you went through for you to get to, because it sounds like there was a build up
yes
of experiences,
yes,
or of trauma, or,
yes, a lot. Okay, so the genesis of all this kind of depression or anxiety started when I lost my mom.
Okay.
My mom and I were very close. We shared the same birthday. We did a lot of things together. And she died just, I think, 3 days after I found out I was pregnant. Yes, and she literally was the one that told me that, honey, you're pregnant. I'm like, Mom, I'm not. I've just been eating lately, and no, go check it out. I check, next 2 days, my mom dies. And it was crazy. At some point, I even forgot that I was pregnant. I was numb.
She wasn't sick.
My mom had leukemia for 9 years.
Okay, so
it was a long struggle.
You weren't expecting that.
Yeah, but she was a strong woman. Yes,
so a long time.
She's been in and out of the hospital several times. I was like, oh, this is one of them.
Okay.
And apparently that was it.
That was it.
So
you weren't ready.
I wasn't at all. So it was the genesis of this entire depression, anxiety. I was pregnant and grieving at the same time. I had my baby. I didn't have any family assistance, no family support. I'd never bathed a baby before. I had to do it. Sometimes while I was breastfeeding, I'm shedding tears because my husband has left for work. It was just me and the baby. I had no nanny. There was one time I was bathing her and she nearly slipped and fell into the bath. Because I had a C-section. I couldn't bend. So I had to support her with my legs. Yeah. And it's been crazy, and after that it was tough. It was tough. So it's like I had a build up of things I couldn't even talk about with anybody. Then me and my husband were having serious issues. I wanted to walk. Then all of a sudden I realized I was pregnant with a boy. I still wanted to walk even during the pregnancy, after the pregnancy. So So one time, I think something happened to me physically. I was sent to the hospital and I was advised to see a neurologist. I did see one, and then it escalated. I was asked to see a psychiatrist. I was like, hell freaking no. What's happening to me? Am I going crazy? They were like, oh, it's normal. I'm like, no, I'm scared. Like, am I going bananas? Because there are times I hear voices in my head to do silly stuff to myself.
Yeah.
And the only thing that held me through that moment was music and prayer. As to how I got out of it, I have no idea. I was so depressed. And that's when I realized that, I'm sorry to bring his name up, that's when I realized that whatever Funny Face was going through was real. Yes, because I knew I was walking a mile in his shoe. Because depression is like being in a very dark pit and struggling to come out, and you're unable to come out of it. Yeah. So, and it came a time when I was even going to bed, I felt I wouldn't even wake up anymore. That would be it. So I don't know how I did it. Yeah. But I'm here today.
I mean, thank you for being honest with us. I really appreciate it, because we don't talk about mental health enough.
We don't.
And there's so many people who are struggling.
Yeah.
And so many people who are listening who can relate, to what you're saying. But you'll talk about it, and then sometimes you come off air and then people suddenly feel like they know you, or they're judging you. But I mean, for us it means a lot, because we know every day we're confronted with people who are going through this. So I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
So back to the story. So now you're in Cape Coast. The kids are missing you and refusing to talk to you. Your marriage is not doing too well.
Now it's doing fabulous.
No, I meant then.
Then, yes.
I mean, yeah. And then what happened? What was that like? How long did that go on for? And most importantly, in the midst of all of that, what were the things that you were learning that you felt it was worth continuing being away from your family from?
It was the people I was meeting at work, especially the customers. I felt I was taken to Cape Coast for a purpose, because there are a lot of people that I helped not because I wanted anything in return, but naturally I'm a helper.
Okay.
So there's this particular man that I helped, and today he's not mentally stable.
Okay.
But then at least because of me today, he's earning his monthly pension.
Okay.
Yes. So
that helps.
I love being around older people because I'm an orphan.
Okay.
Yes, so when I see these old people walk up to me, oh, Mary about and then why you feel, all those things calms my spirit. And after serving them, the kind of prayers they shower on my head, I felt all those prayers that I've missed from my mom were being replaced
for you.
For me. Yeah.
So it was healing.
For me in a way.
But it was tough on your family.
It was.
So let's talk a bit about your husband. Again, I mean, it's up to you, you know, on how much you want to share. But what was the relationship like, and what were the conversations like?
It was little or no conversations. If I call, it's just for me to talk to the kids. If he calls me, same, for me to talk to the kids when he's dropping them off at school. Yes, and then in the afternoon, same, when he picks them up from school, he calls me, I talk to them. And maybe later when he's not around or at home for meetings and stuff back in town, I have to call the nanny to talk to them.
Talk to the kids.
Yes.
So this situation with him was not primarily because of the move. This was just a continuation of whatever issues had been going on.
I think the move was equally inclusive. In a way.
So it was almost like, you know, I said don't go, you've decided to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk to you.
Oh, not like I won't talk to you. The vibe was just not there.
I mean, even with me saying that, I don't mean it like in a bad way, but I can also understand how difficult it must have been for him.
Yes.
You know, because suddenly, you know,
mommy is not there.
Like, yeah, you're my wife, and it's like, you are going. like why? Like, this was not part of the plan. This was not the deal. And suddenly you're going. I'm losing my wife in a way. She's not going to be here. Suddenly I'm going to have to be mom and dad. And it's almost like I don't get a say in that. You're making the decision to go.
And I also felt that I'd done it for all these years. So probably it's your turn to do same.
Yeah, but with no notice. You didn't give him like 6 months notice or 3 months notice and say, yo.
I'm not the employer.
You know. No, I mean, because as much as I'm enjoying your story, I never want to paint a story that favors one person over the other, because I'm sure in all of this he has his, you know, his story too, and things that also may have hurt
exactly
as well.
I think we all react differently to different
things.
Situations.
I mean, definitely if it was me in his shoes, I wouldn't talk to you. Like, you've just gone and left me with like, I will fine, then go then, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, so I can definitely understand that.
Yeah.
So little or no conversation?
Both. But between that, we celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary whilst I was in Cape Coast.
Okay.
So that's when everything just merged and came back to normal.
Okay. I mean, was it that easy?
It wasn't. We had to sit and discuss.
Oh, so there was a conversation.
Yes.
So just before we talk about the conversation, so when like you people were not really talking and stuff and you're going and coming, what was your sex life like? I should next question.
Anyone next?
Okay, well, I think the next answer is for us. So I mean, because you know how you said, oh, earlier on you said I was giving you side eye. You said, oh, you know, you were tired, you wanted to walk. No, you were pregnant. So clearly, even in the middle of the wanting to walk.
But where should I go?
Even in the middle of that, you know, it's like, okay, another. So maybe, you know, that part of your
when we are upset,
the
parts are not upset with each other.
I love that for you, because I think it's important in marriage that no matter, I think even the Bible says, you know, that no matter how angry you
difficult.
Are, of course it is, but you know, needs must be met. Otherwise, we give the enemy space to.
Exactly.
But anyway, okay, so you said, I'm struggling to move from the question. Moving on. So, okay, 10th anniversary comes up.
Yes.
And there's a conversation. What sparked the conversation?
I actually initiated the conversation because I'm like, how do we have an anniversary without knowing why we're having the anniversary?
Were you feeling better by then? Had you started to feel better?
Yes, because I was praying towards the anniversary.
Okay.
Because it wasn't just any anniversary, it was our 10 years. Yes. So I really wanted us to have that deep conversation to make sure that this is what we want and how far we've come since we started this marriage journey. And if we really wanted to do 10 years plus, or we wanted to mark time.
So it was a do or die conversation. Like, are we going to do
I'm
this?
a very open-minded person.
Okay.
So I want to talk a lot about things. I'll let it out, because if I'm not ready, I'll tell you I'm not ready. I don't think this is appropriate for us to go ahead and do. But we had that conversation. We went ahead with it, and
no, don't
if you
skip,
saw our videos, I'm not skipping. If you saw our videos during the 10th anniversary, you realize how both of us cried.
I don't think I
okay
did, no.
Okay, we both shed some tears, and it was I think we both knew why we were crying.
Please, my listeners and I, we are interested in the encomiums of the conversation.
What is the encomiums?
The conversation. So how did it start? Hello, can we talk? Can we?
Yeah. When I come home this Friday, can we have a conversation either Friday night or Saturday morning? At your own time, because he's a gym freak. He goes to the gym Monday to Saturday. So I need to know what his schedule will be like, or probably he has to make time for us to have that kind of conversation, whether in home or outside the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the conversation.
And so the conversation, we had it.
Okay.
And so, like, I've already talked about it too.
No, you haven't. So you said what, and he said what, and what were the things? Okay, let me be direct. What were the things that you both considered that made the journey worth continuing?
The kids.
Okay. So it was mainly
the kids, yeah.
Okay.
Because I felt I didn't have that father figure, like the unit being with my parents.
Okay.
I was raised single-handedly by my mother. I didn't want that to happen to my children. Because I tell you what, one time when I was going for therapy at the hospital for with a psychologist, we're in a queue. Usually when you go, there are people also, ready to see the doctor. So there was a lady and about a 5-year-old girl ready to be the ones to see. So when they came out, I was next. So when it got to my turn, I asked the doctor which of them had the therapy. Was it the little girl or was the lady? And he was like, it was the little girl. I was like, why? What's happening? Apparently the lady's undergoing divorce and it's affecting the child.
Wow. So
the child had come for therapy. And I'm like, no, I don't want this to happen to my kids. So if anything at all, I'll be the one to be, should I call myself the bait or whoever to standing, the sacrifice, thank you, the sacrifice for my children, because I love them to death. And I wouldn't want them to go through anything because of a decision I am going to make or their dad is going to make. Okay. So we spoke about things and we realized that we needed to do this because my dad didn't do it for me. I was literally coming from a broken home. And I know how badly it affected me. I didn't want my children to go through same. So yes, we talked things out and today we are here.
And so the decision was made. Were you still in love at that point?
And in marriage, sometimes the love fades. It's a friendship that still holds the union together. So at that time, no.
You were friends.
Yeah.
It was the friendship and the kids.
Yes.
Okay.
But now it's growing.
It's coming back.
Yes.
Okay, so you had the conversation, you decided to stay together, but then Sunday you went back to Cape Coast.
Yes, after the reunion.
Okay, how did you then navigate? Because now you're kind of back to being wife. Your break from being a wife was over. You were back to being wife, still mother, still working. So how was that like? Was it different from?
I think it was. I felt more calmer after everything. Very calm because whenever the call comes through, he usually complains that I consistently had a frowned face when I was talking to him, and I knew it was right. He was right, but then after that, I was calmer. When the call comes through, hey, how you doing? How you guys doing? And we flow like that. But previously it wasn't like that. It was strictly because hello, it's saying, I'm crying away. Yeah, that's it. Oh, hi, honey. And he had a problem with me being very straightforward with him, and I quickly switched being extremely nice with it. Yeah,
that would be painful.
Yeah, I don't know why I was doing that, but I did. No,
I mean, I think we understand that you were on your own journey of healing, and you can. I wish people could understand that it's almost like the well that we pour out of to our husbands is quite different from the well that we pour out. The
Exactly,
kids' well
yeah.
is like a
Yeah.
well that
Yeah.
never runs dry.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how.
And people don't understand how people heal.
Yeah.
And even why people need to heal. They
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I totally get that. So now, okay, things are fine with you guys. You know, you're doing and all of that. Did that impact your work?
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Yeah.
How?
There were times, even with a customer seated in front of me, for no reason, I'll just be lost in my thoughts. Then I'll just tear up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I have to excuse myself too. Because I wasn't happy. I was trying so hard to put myself together and be me. There are times, you know, people see me on social media thinking, oh, this girl, hey, no, what I know. They be wakana no red lipstick and all of that. But I don't know how I even put it together, but I always do. I carry it so well that nobody even notices that I'm even going through anything.
Yeah.
But I had my own face, whether at work, back home in Accra, at my apartment in Cape Coast. I had my own moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and constantly was music for me.
Yeah, you said so.
Yeah, when I'm driving to work, it's constantly music to just get my energy flowing till I get to work. When I close to from work to the same till I get home. Till Friday when I have to come back
When
to
you have
Accra.
to come back. So when you and your husband reconciled, I'm using that loosely. That was actually the question. Did it impact your work? Like, did it impact your ability to perform at work?
Yeah,
It did.
it did.
It was easier.
Yes, it was easier.
I'm asking this to ask for you how important it is for us as career women, how important it is to have the support of the person that you're married to, and how much of a difference
it makes.
So how much of a difference did it make to you to have, at that point, I'm assuming you had his support to a certain extent.
Yes.
Like, okay, if this is what you want to do, then let's make it work. So how much of a difference did that make?
We had a convo again, and I made him aware that at least every day ask me how my day was. And it's kind of, you know, because I always want someone to talk to how my day went. I have so many stories. Every day has its own story. So it started, so I even when I had to vent to him. And when I get back to work, it's, I don't know, but there was this calmness in my spirit.
So it was nice.
Yes, it was.
You had your friend back.
Yes, I had my friend back.
You had your friend
Yeah.
back. So obviously it makes everything a little bit easier. Did
Yes.
he ever come to Cape Coast?
Yes.
He did.
About twice, yes.
To come and see you.
Yes.
So that was nice.
Oh, yes. The kids actually came with him
Oh.
to spend some days with me.
Okay, so then you
Yes.
felt supported.
Yes.
And not
it was
so
nice.
alone.
No.
And do you feel that contributed to the healing
Yes.
of your marriage?
And he didn't understand saying things, especially this healing bits, and even the depression, the anxiety. He didn't understand it. So whatever I was going through, he didn't even know how to treat me or how to make me feel okay. Until, you know, I think one time when I had to go to therapy, the psychologist invited him over and actually explained certain things to him, so it doesn't come across as if I'm making things up. Exactly, because people don't understand these things. Yeah, mental health, people don't understand. People don't get it. Because you even try to explain yourself. They don't want to see still. You will explain, tire. Yeah. So there's no point in talking about it at all. I just let it go. I'll be fine.
So how long after the reunion, again loosely putting it as a reunion, before you got the transfer? So how long ago was this?
Oh, the transfer was just a week ago.
No, I mean the reunion.
The reunion was 2 years ago.
So
is it 2 years? No, a year ago.
How long were you in Cape Coast for?
This August would have been 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, okay. So for about a year or so, it was you alone.
Yeah.
In the midst of all the discomforts.
Yes.
And then for the second part,
even before Cape Coast.
Even before. Yeah. But then the second part of that was, you know, you doing that as a family.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes.
And then, did you ask for the transfer or?
No. Well, I did since last year. In fact, after 6 months of being in Cape Coast, I started asking for transfer.
Okay.
And they were like, you know, work ethics, you would have to probably be 2 years and over, or probably a year and over, before they will look at whether you can come back or whether there's space for you in Accra. So we put you there. But then, yeah, fortunately, a few people were able to talk to a few people, and I was brought back to Accra.
So tell us about the day that you got the news.
You have no idea. You have no idea. I was just laughing, like I was a fool. Like I was just laughing.
So was it random, or were you expecting?
I was expecting it, but I didn't know it would be that quick.
Okay, so you knew that. Okay, this is kind of in the way.
Because when you put in a request, it takes a while.
Okay.
Yeah, for them to even decline or approve your request. Yes, but then I was just there. I got to work one Friday morning, checked my mail, and it was sitting there.
That you've been
transferred back to Accra.
Effective when?
Monday, the following Monday.
So that was your last.
So I had that was my
Friday,
last
Saturday, Sunday.
I had Saturday, Sunday to pack my stuff back home.
Presumably, you sent the letter to your husband again.
Sharp.
Presumably, his response again was wow. And then presumably there was a phone call.
Then I had to quickly call my kids and speak to the elders. I'm like, honey, guess what? Are you coming to Accra? I said, yes. Yay, mommy. It was very emotional for me.
Yeah, it would.
It was. I was laughing, but I was crying at the same time. Like they were happy tears. And you should have seen her when I got home that day. The way she ran out of the house to come hug me in the car. Like, finally, mommy, you're back.
You're back.
Yeah.
So how long have you been back for?
A week.
A week.
Yeah.
What's it been like? Because the truth is that you have had a break from your family.
Yeah.
And from the everydayness of mommy. So now that you're back, I'm sure they've missed you. The mommy has doubled.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they are not capable of taking care of themselves. And
they are draining me. Every time I'm shouting, hey, stop it. Come on, go and sit down. Come on, go and sit. Go and brush your teeth. I'm like, why people strike? I came home to rest. Why are you doing this to me? But one thing they don't understand, when my husband and I were not that cool, I was sleeping with them in their room. So since I came back, even before the transfer, I started sleeping in the master bed. And they don't understand. I mean, why are you not sleeping with us in our room anymore? I'm like, I'm not supposed to sleep in your room.
In your room, yeah.
I didn't even know how to explain those things to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, but why are you sleeping by daddy? I'm like, daddy is my husband. I'm supposed. Why is daddy? We too, we are your children. Come and sleep with us.
Understand the concept.
I don't even know how to explain it. Every night we have to fight
about where you are sleeping. Wow.
But mommy, we miss you. I'm like, I miss you guys too, so I can come and sleep at you just a little bit. Then maybe when you sleep off, I'll go back to. But why? Then I'll just leave them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You see, everything we do, these kids see, and we shouldn't let them know that the wrong ones are the wrong things are the right things. Exactly. Because I'm like, how do I even explain to them why I've stopped sleeping in their room? My right place is my husband's room or the master bedroom. Now I'm being asked so many questions I can't even answer.
You can't answer.
Can't answer.
I mean, when they're old enough, they'll understand.
Yeah.
They'll remember, and they'll probably ask you, and then you explain to them and teach them, because life is like that.
Yeah.
The ups and downs and.
But at one point I nearly resigned.
Oh,
because
really?
I had this nanny, and at that time my daughter had started some misbehaviors. I didn't even know where it was coming from, and I developed very quickly when I was a
teenager.
Yeah, and I see that in her too. So I quickly wanted to come back to Accra. At least by the time she has her first menstrual flow, at least I'll be there to take her through that phase. And I didn't know how to. I'm like, now I want to come back home to my family and just be the mommy figure for them.
Yeah.
Yes, and not to mommy them from a distance. It was crazy. Sometimes my husband will have to travel. We have to do homework via a video call, and it was stressful.
It was stressful. But you started feeling this stress after you had a little bit of time to process the way that you felt.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, again, to really highlight that healing is really important in our ability to function in whatever role that we.
Else you'll be a mess.
Yeah, you'll definitely be a mess, because now you're healed, you're feeling better, and you want to come home to your kids and not needing to be so far away.
Exactly.
Do you feel like, as a career woman, you will always have that push and pull between, I want to get promoted, I want the experience, but my heart is with my kids. I want to be home, I want to be wife, I want to be mother. Do you feel like that push and pull will ever go away?
I don't think it will ever go away. Where I find, unless I change my job, yeah, but where I find myself, the probability of me even being transferred again is very high. But at least it will be after 5 or 7 years.
Okay.
At that time, my kids would have entered the teenage stage, and I think they would be able to take care of
They'll be
themselves
more
even
adjust, yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
without me being around.
Do you think your marriage can survive another transfer?
Yes, it would.
You think it?
Yes. You know, there are certain years within marriages that tests you. It will test you.
Yes.
And I've been
tested.
God.
I can feel your pain.
I think from the 5th year it would test you. 7 it would test you. 10 it would test you. So I think I've built that tough skin.
The resilience.
Exactly. So the baby
it's like we are in it together.
Yeah.
Nobody's going anywhere.
We die here.
So we are doing this. Are you a spiritual person?
Very.
Do you feel like God took you away for a season?
Yes.
What was your greatest lesson?
For being in Cape Coast? Patience, and to trust him. I mean, I felt like, if you don't trust me, everything is going to be okay.
He does that, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes I wonder, why is it so important to God that we trust him? And why does he always, like, almost question our trust by putting us in the most untrustworthy, difficult, like, why must it be so just make my life easy, I'll trust you.
That's what makes us resilient. I know.
Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
He tested me. There are times I'll just lay flat on the floor, cry my lungs out, and even lay there and sleep till the next morning. Asking him questions. Why it has to happen to me? Why me? Why doesn't my husband understand me when I say this? Why do we misunderstand each other constantly? Like, why?
And what would he say?
I don't hear anything. But you see, sometimes a call will come through and he's extremely nice. And I'm like, God, that was you. Because this man doesn't smile. He's literally not a nice person out there. And a lot of my friends complain that, hey, I'm like, I'm not here. On Thursday.
Okay.
If he doesn't smile with you, doesn't mean he doesn't like you.
It's not personal.
It's not personal.
Just,
That's him. Even at home, he does it to me. So I think I hadn't, even after all those years, I think I hadn't realized who he was. I was still being upset why he had a frown face when I'm cracking a joke. I'm like, straight.
It's my fault.
It's a joke. You have to laugh.
Okay, all right.
You know, his jokes aren't funny to me, and my jokes weren't funny to him.
Okay.
I'm like, why? But God, why? It's a joke. We're supposed to be laughing together. Because I'm a very silly person, in quotes. I like to mess around a lot to make people laugh. But he doesn't laugh. Everybody will laugh but him.
Wow.
Yeah, and I felt I was doing something wrong. Or, am I being too extra? Because my kids love me when I'm in my elements. They love, oh, mommy, you're so funny. And he won't laugh.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel I was tested for some time, and now I think I know him to some extent. Nowadays when he does those things, I don't care.
It's normal.
It's normal. It's not as if he's upset. That's him.
Yeah.
That's
it's
him.
just not funny.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah.
And he can't pretend laugh.
Sometimes he likes, but he won't show it. See that thing?
Yeah.
You probably go, oh, hey, Bema na. Bema pay ni. Bema can't think. You'll be flowing him fans. You still have a frown face. They'll probably go and give him a peg that. Ope. Any day. Bonka.
But you know that.
I didn't want. You know, I'm a lovey-dovey person.
So
he's
you
not.
wanted something.
Yes.
You wanted the love.
It wasn't happening. I'm like, maybe. Charlie, let me just stick it like that.
But it's interesting again how God will call you out of yourself, so that the love is always selfless. Because it's easy to love in order to get what we want back.
Yeah,
But it's
you see, my mom equally was a lovey-dovey type. So I thought when I lost it, I put everything, every love, every attention into my husband. And I think I might be crying.
it's okay. It's okay.
So I made him my everything.
Everything.
So that's when everything just started having it.
The expectations were
I think I was
too
expecting
high. Too high.
But I was alone.
But you were also expecting him to do what only God can do. So I think when you took the time alone and it was really just you and God, then you found out that there are parts of you that it's actually only God who can heal and touch and love, and then maybe then you're not as needy or as needing of validation and all of those things. And it's a difficult journey to go on.
It's been.
Yeah, it's difficult, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth
It's
it.
worth it because the love of God is very different from
Yeah,
the love of a
yeah.
man. And I think one of the secrets to a long-lasting marriage is knowing what you need from God and what you need from your
and
husband.
putting him at the center of your home.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
He always is. But it's been worth it, right? The past 2-3 years, everything you've gone through.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about yourself now?
By myself.
Yes.
My energy. I don't know where I get it from. I have so much energy. On my 40th birthday party, my friends were like, were you high? Did you drink something? I didn't even drink water. I danced from beginning to end.
Wow.
Through the rain. It rained. I danced through the rain. So they gave me light off. Oh yes.
You had a good time.
I made up my mind to have a good time, and I did.
You did.
I did. I did. Because I wished my mom was around. I wish my mom had witnessed a lot of things in my life, but unfortunately,
maybe she did, but you just didn't see
probably.
her. Yeah,
probably.
you just didn't see her
Probably
witnessing. And I'm sure I believe that, the people we've lost are always with us in one way or another, so I'm sure she's been here through it all. So what's next for you?
What's next for me in Accra?
In Accra, in life, in another baby.
At 42? No, I'm done.
You're done.
Hey, I'm done. Are you not done?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
I'm not.
I'm done. Oh, no, I'm done. I had too many complications when I'm pregnant, so after the boy, I'm like, no, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Done. No
done.
room for
Done. I'm done.
I'm
done.
And work. Looking forward to.
Yeah, probably more promotions. I'll grab if I see any vacancy within the establishment shop. I would apply.
You would.
And still climb up the ladder. Now I have at least the next 5 or 7 years to still stay in Accra. So if
take care of the kids.
Yes, if there's any opportunity within the institution, I'll grab it.
And now your husband knows that this could happen.
Yes.
So it won't be a surprise.
Yes, it won't be. At least maybe we'll start pulling the strings before it happens. Yes, this one we didn't know that it was going to happen this way. Yes.
So it's and the you have a kids clothing
salon.
You have a kids salon.
Yes.
How's that doing?
Not too well.
You don't have time for it.
I wasn't even here.
Oh, so
and these artisans will just steal your stuff
and mess you up.
Exactly. So it's closed temporarily. Yes, I'm gonna revive it once.
Starts again.
Now that I'm back in Accra.
But that's a lot then, like work, this.
Hey, I need the money.
That.
I'll do it. I used to braid my daughter's hair myself, but she has a lot of hair, so I send it to other places to get it done.
Right. So not going to do that.
No, myself. So I'll revive the salon, then have the workers do it for her.
So the part of you that you show on social media is the goofy, fun, is that intentional? Because you used that to hide a lot of.
But that is me on and off social media.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
I don't fake.
Okay.
That's me. When I'm not in a good mood, I don't put anything out there.
Okay.
No videos, no posts, no nothing.
But when you're in a good mood, then you're sharing the energy.
Exactly.
And sharing the love.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing the energy and sharing the love with us.
Before I go.
Okay, I was going to read messages, but
yes, please. Before the messages. My school.
Okay.
Infantiman Old Girls Association or Infantsman Girls Secondary School. We're having our
Painting is
60th.
purple,
Thank you. Just
purples.
like this room.
Purple.
Just like this room. We're having our 65th speech and prize giving day on the 15th of March. This coming Saturday.
This Saturday.
This very Saturday. But it's starting, I think, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But we, the 2001 year group, we are the ones taking the baton.
Okay.
So we are repping big time
Ish.
in glam, in style, however you put it. We are repping. So please, all Morgans, Chini, all the houses, Chini House, Badler House, Engman House, Coffee House, Yeboah House, Scotland, Makanina, because I'm a missu.
Oh,
Into me advert, I'm a school. Into no.
feel free.
Holy Child for Fools,
I'm proud of you guys. I mean, Holy Child followed us. Now you guys are following.
We are the last.
But you still can never be gay here, you know. But it's all right.
Girl, listen.
It's my show.
Oh, so it's the battle.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wait after Saturday. Then you decide.
Then we'll decide.
Aye.
Brightest of the best.
Thank you.
But yes, if you went to Infantsman or if you have a wife or if you're a supporter, the speech and prize giving day is on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
All horns blazing towards Cape Coast.
Yay.
Let me just take a couple of messages. Because of the orientation and condition of who a man and a woman should be in a union, not many men are willing to follow their spouse on the work journey like they would expect the wife to when tables turn. Another is long distance relationships. Not for everybody. It takes a lot of commitment, traveling expenses, risk and safety. Well, thank God it's worked out eventually because some never come back. Yes, we're very grateful. Kwame says, fantastic guest. I'm really enjoying the show. Francis says, it's always about the kids. That was the best decision. This one says, beautiful story, very emotional. Great discussion. That's from Brown Francis. And Renee says, great conversation. Well, thank you to you guys for staying tuned in. And thank you, Euphemia, for being so authentic and honest and everything with us. We really appreciate it. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Thank you so much. We're heading over for the 8 o'clock news. My name is Animwaa Anim-Addo, and I will be back next week, Wednesday, same time, 7 o'clock. Big thank you to the team, Mirabel, my producer, and the rest of the squad. So stay safe out there, guys.